Coming up on Oily Trash Movies. What's the guy's name? John Burton? Oh my god, what the f***? Did you see that? Holy...
It's an alien. The poison of how Western society is so ultra focused on Mad Maxing and looks and being beautiful, and then it wasn't.
All right,
It wasn't.
And we're live. Hello, and welcome to Oily Trash Movies. This is the only podcast that watches and reviews bad horror movies during the month of October.
You son of a bitch! You got me for real. Like, are you just kidding? Because you usually are not.
No,
ready.
we're recording. All right, and we are your hosts.
Oh my god!
I'm Daddy Warbucks,
and I'm Bubblegum Barbie.
And we've got a great episode for you today for day 2 of Trashoween.
So spooky. I still don't believe that you're recording.
We're going to be watching a terrible-looking mermaid movie. This is our second mermaid movie of OTM history. This is called Bad Fish. But before we get into that, last week we watched Milko Davis's Killer Witches from Outer Space. Bubba, did you have anything to add about Killer Witches?
I don't know why I didn't like this. I can't nitpick why I didn't like this movie in comparison to Jurassic Thunder and Ghosters. I don't know. Something was missing.
So you think this was the worst? That you like this less than the other Milko Davis movies?
I did.
All right. Well, most of what I've been thinking about over the past week is just how you sort of rewrite some of these characters to give them arcs. We had our main character, Zane, who was kind of like the troublemaker at school, and he kind of was a jerk, and then he kind of just saves the day at the end, and it's like, okay, how do you make this character work? I think you make that character a secret nerd. So he's got his bad boy, tough, leather jacket wearing persona, but then he's dating the girl that's kind of like the science geek. I think instead of him hating the telescope and being afraid of it, he should actually be kind of interested. And the girlfriend maybe wants him to do a science fair project with her. And then instead of him leaving the girlfriend at home to go to the dance, he should convince her to go to the dance so that when the witches attack, 1, he has motivation because he's trying to save his girlfriend. 2, he actually has a personal responsibility since he convinced her to go to this dance, which, you know, she's an introvert type, normally wouldn't go to a dance, so he's working to try to bring her out of the shell. And then when he saves her, I'm thinking like, okay, how you tie this up? Instead of having the witch's claw be left behind as evidence, what if it drops its computer, like its Predator style arm computer, and then they pick it up and the hologram comes up and he says something like, oh my goodness, it's got built-in geospatial recognition and all kinds of other science fiction gobbledygook, and she says, hey, sounds like we've got an award-winning science fair project. Are you in? And he says, you know what? Yeah, I'm in. So we actually have some growth in the characters.
The issue that I had with this movie is that Milko Davis technically did well in this movie, but story-wise failed, which is the completely polar opposite of what Milko Davis has done in the past, where his story is very interesting and fun and funny, and the writing is hilarious, but the technical was not that strong. I think this was his strongest technical movie, but the story just fell apart.
Okay, fair. This week we're going to be watching Bad Fish. What do we know about this?
Bad Fish is a 2024 movie. It is 1 hour, 24 minutes. It is a thriller. It is the director is Brad Douglas. The writer is Brad Douglas. And when a marine biologist investigates mysterious deadly attacks on fishermen in an Oregon coastal town, he discovers the culprit as a mermaid who must find a mate to breed with before returning to the sea.
Whoa, sounds like a sexy mermaid.
I'm so excited. So this is like Mermaid Down.
What I'm really excited about is this is another movie brought to us by Uncorked Entertainment, which has given us such fantastic movies as Jurassic Games.
Oh my god.
And also such horrible, god-awful movies as Hunt Club.
Oh god.
So this could fall anywhere between worst movie and best movie we've ever seen. Are we ready to get into this?
Yeah, let's go. Oh my god.
She's gonna give birth to a tadpole.
Ooh.
Bad Fish. This also kind of reminds me of Manfish. I guess this is technically our third mermaid movie. Was Manfish a mermaid or an ichthyoid?
He was an ichthyoid because he was more like the Thing. He was like in seaweed.
When you're talking about the seaweed, I believe you mean Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, okay.
How about these extras in the background of this homely American diner?
It's awesome.
It's October.
Yeah, it's October.
Have you been drinking, Bill?
Hell yeah, we're on a boat. What else are you gonna do?
The writing is already really good. And these actors are doing well to deliver those lines.
To be drinking out there, Bill.
Okay, I had a little splash.
I had a little splash, I know.
Next time, War, you get pulled over by a cop, just say, nah, I just had a little splash.
The key is to stop at a gas station and splash gasoline all over you so that the smell of gas overpowers the stench of alcohol.
Oh my god.
Make sure to like and subscribe for more tips on how to get out of a DUI.
Tip number 1, say you have a splash. Tip number 2, shower yourself with gasoline. Tip number 3, do not drive drunk. Get an Uber.
Oh my god. A leg, a foot.
It's a leg.
I hate when that happens.
Instead of fish, you get human flesh.
I mean, that's still good eating.
Yeah.
How about this guy's aviator glasses showing the whole crew?
Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice.
I love reflections in movies.
I know.
What a great behind-the-scenes look. Dude, everyone in this movie is nipping here and there.
If you were to touch one of the sea anemones, you might notice they feel a little sticky on the outside.
When I go to museums, this is my least favorite spot. I was like, I don't want to touch slimy things. Ugh, I don't like slime. Oh my god, Native American pirates.
Yeah, what the hell kind of band is this?
Oh, Phyllis, you didn't have to go through all this trouble.
Yes, I did. It's good to have you home again.
Is that the pregnant woman? And the redhead is the mermaid? Oh my god, because she's red-haired.
I think you're right. She said, it's good to have you back. That means she just came back to shore. She's been living in Mermaid City the past 40 years.
The prop team didn't even bother to... He had a big old gash on his head to a point where he bled on his boat, and the prop team did not even bother to put an injury that was gnarly.
Yeah, he needed, like, stitches, because they took him to the hospital, remember?
Yeah. Or they should have left his hat on with some blood on it if they wanted to be lazy.
The press is out front. They want to talk to the drunk guy who was driving a boat.
It's a small town.
Fucking guy's got a cat t-shirt on.
Up there.
Whoa!
He's already drunk because he's as red as a tomato. I was gonna say potato, but potatoes aren't red. It's a red potato. No, you know what? I take that back. That's what I meant. He's already drunk because he looks like a red potato. Keep that in. Bubble's smart.
Let the marine biologist look at this part of a human.
Oh, he's trying to, like, identify what killed it.
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna cut that because I sound stupid now.
Hell yeah. Keep that. Bubble being smart. Just want all our devoted 1,050,000 devoted fans to know that War just cut the parts where I sounded smart and he sounded dumb.
True. They'll never know what you said. She didn't sound that smart, listeners.
Wrong. Oh my god, look at her tattoo. Terrible.
Oh man, the spider web across her chest.
It's shitty ass tattoo. Oh my god, ichthyoids and fucking Cthulhu's over there eating humans. Which is true, because we saw it in Glorious. He eviscerated him. What's that word? Eviscerated.
Yeah,
Eviscerated.
you nailed it the first time.
Ugh, what a shitty ass tattoo. And that's real. And that's real. And that's real.
That's real.
Definitely looks like the kind of tattoo a marine biologist would have.
A spider web.
Give me a couple minutes and I'll
That's like nothing to do with their craft.
Yeah, it was a joke.
And that's real.
What can I get you? Do you have a 7-Up?
A 7-Up?
So they are fucking.
Nice. What's the guy's name? John Burton? Oh my god, what the fuck? Did you see that? Holy
It's an
shit.
alien. That's hilarious. That was so bad.
What the fuck? That looks terrible.
If they're like, if the prop team is able to make body parts disemboweled, they're able to make an alien head.
I think it's supposed to be a mermaid. It just looked like an alien because it was a blurry brown mess.
Did you bring bait?
I got a bucket of chum here.
It's very little too. Like what is he expecting? To catch 5 fish?
Yeah, they brought 6 minnows.
That's all they could afford.
Oh my god.
It's the redhead.
Whoa. Kind of old to be a sexy mermaid.
I'm glad she's dead because that tattoo was. I was sick of that tattoo.
You know, smoking marijuana is a lot more dangerous than people think.
What? Ooh, he's gonna find a scale that matches the one they found on the hook. Nailed it. Oh my god, secrets?
Oh my god. The mermaid files.
It's gonna be a bunch of grainy photographs. This guy's like a best old pirate.
30 years ago, me and my boys were out fishing and drinking.
We have a cartoon interlude?
This movie sucks.
God, this is terrible. Oh my god. The slow motion and the dramatic music. Why? What the hell is that? Is it a torso?
Yeah.
There needs to be like a close-up where you see the spider tattoo so you know it's her. Oh, that was awesome. Damn, you know what? At least these landscape shots are fucking awesome.
That's all this movie has is that they decided to go to Washington. Okay, so if there's multiple mermaids who are killing people, like why our redhead is the one who's eating them?
Because
Like or getting injured.
the mermaids with one mermaid has sex with a guy is what he was saying.
Right. I know that. I got that. But like
She's the one. She should have been like 30. She needed to be cast about 10 years younger because she's obviously post-menopause.
well, that's why she's in a hurry. That's why she has 7 days.
she had 7 days before menopause sets in.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Why is he driving on... Why is the... Was that a reverse shot? The steering wheel was on the wrong side of the car in that shot. Oh my god, she's gonna date him. Oh damn, I can't say on YouTube.
What'd you put in my drink?
It's the pheromones, or what's that? Pheromones?
Pheromones, yeah.
Pheromones.
The writing sucks, the acting sucks.
This movie sucks ass, dude. It's the worst movie you could pick for TrashMovies. I told you, Mermaid Down was way scarier than this.
I mean, didn't you hear that musical sting? Like, this is obviously supposed to be scary. Oh my god.
That's cool. She ate his dick.
You know, I feel like we should have had some transition between human and sea creature. And that would have been a perfect reason to have her hand bandaged. Where it's like, oh, she's starting to get webbing between her fingers, so she has to wrap it and hide it and make up this story about how she injured it.
Why couldn't these women be casted as the mermaid? Like the ones in the background.
Oh my god. Pretty cool.
I missed it. What happened?
Cool shit. Oh, scary. Oh my god. And then the CGI head looks terrible.
It's just a latex mask. She can't move her mouth. They're using AI to make it move. Ugh,
This is
this is
awful.
terrible. It's final. This movie is as bad as Hunt Club.
Oh, they're eating them? Or they're pretending to eat? They're just like opening their mouths and like rubbing them back and forth. Her teeth never touched.
This movie doesn't make any sense. Like, the plot is all over the place. Like, why did the old man get to live and he didn't? Like, that just doesn't make sense.
No, I think they just eat his legs because the old man didn't have any legs, remember? So I think
Oh.
our hero, I think John Burton's still going to be alive. He just won't have any legs. Oh, she's going to give birth in the water.
Yeah, she did.
This is a repeat of the first scene. Terrible pregnancy stock effects.
They should have just used her. I don't know why they didn't do that.
She didn't have the range. Oh, she's biting the umbilical cord. Blah.
The best supporting actor is this baby in the ocean. I love that they spent money on this fake baby, this ultra realistic baby. It's like $200 on eBay, I think. Don't ask me how I know that.
Yeah, look, here he is. No legs. Still getting some. To be continued. Oh yeah, there is Bad Fish 2 coming out. Are we gonna watch that, Bubble, when it comes out?
No, this was torture. This is terrible.
That was only 80 minutes too.
Oh, it felt like an eternity. It was horrible. So I'm gonna rate it right now. It's gonna be about 9 buckets of oil. It was pretty bad. It's not as bad as Hunt Club, but it's second. This is horrific.
This was a SAG-AFTRA film too.
Ugh, they're all terrible. Terrible actors.
I'm not gonna be as harsh, but like obviously this is an oily movie. I think I'm gonna go 6 buckets of oil because it has so few redeeming qualities to it, and the only thing I can think is, one, I really like the landscape drone shots. Oregon, Washington, like the great Northwest. It's beautiful scenery up there, you know? I thought the practical effects were good, the hands looked good, and for some reason, I don't know what they did. I don't know why the head looked so bad in the final sequence, where it looked okay in the dark, where she was eating Bill. But yeah, the hands, and even when we had the close-ups of the hand, like they were like the webbing was kind of translucent, and even where the fake hands met the real wrist, it was the makeup effects there were perfectly blended it in. I thought that was great. Everything else about this movie sucks.
Now I want to say I stand corrected. I kept saying that this is not a horror at all. It's not a horror at all, and I was so angry that you picked this movie for Spooktober, but the in this film was horrific. It was horrific. So it is horrible. It's horrible. I also wonder if the actress did have a fake tattoo, because now that you said the webbing in her hand, if that correlates with the webbing of her tattoo. Although I'm pretty sure that she did get a shitty tattoo.
That tattoo alone was worth 1 bucket of oil.
Yeah, it was worth more than 1 bucket of oil. It was like 7. It's 7 buckets of oil, unless I speak to the woman. I mean, if you're watching this, the actress with that shitty tattoo, tell me in the comments, why did you get such a horrible thing? Because maybe that's what it is. Like, maybe there's a sad story or good story or powerful story behind it, to where she wants to put it on her rack, you know?
So I think a lot of what we can sum up about why this movie sucked is just generally bad filmmaking. All of the slow interlude shots where like the establishing shots where they're playing this music, those all felt out of place. They all felt super padded. A lot of the dialogue felt stilted, and both the delivery and the writing itself. I think the script could have used some further revision. Man, you know what? The cartoon part was kind of cool though. I thought it was like when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, they just ran out of money and they couldn't film another boat scene. But it kind of had a little bit of charm to it, even though the mixing was bad. That's another complaint I have: the volume mixing on a lot of these scenes. There's at least two scenes in particular. There was the cartoon scene and the everyone singing "What do you do with a drunken sailor" scene. Both of those I felt had terrible mixing.
The only good thing about this movie was the crew, and it was only the practical effects crew. And the soundtrack wasn't terrible, but it didn't really make sense. Like, it was the only thing that made it feel like a spooky movie was the soundtrack. The casting was terrible. I would have just completely removed everybody and gotten a whole younger crew for me, simply because I don't know, maybe that's just I've just gotten so used to mermaids, being sirens, and usually sirens are sexy and young.
Well,
And
mermaids and sirens are two different creatures from folklore.
right,
And these really weren't mermaids because they didn't have mermaid tails. They were more like sirens because they were luring men, and I, really they were barely even luring, trying to seduce men.
right. They just like freaking them. Like that's all they did.
If they were if they were gonna be sirens, then we should have the lead should have been at least 10 years younger because a siren is supposed to be like fatal attraction type.
Right. Very, very, very attraction. Very, very beautiful type. I really didn't like this movie. Although I did like the twist that they did on the quote unquote mermaid. It's a reverse mermaid. She has human legs but has fish features, which is kind of hilarious that it's called Bad Fish. So I do wonder if this movie isn't a thriller, but a comedy thriller, a comedy horror thriller. Although I wouldn't call it a horror at all because it just had body horror, I guess.
Well, the tone was so inconsistent and the
Hmm.
performance is so bad. We genuinely don't know if this was supposed to be a comedy, but it wasn't. It wasn't tagged as comedy in IMDb, and I just think some of it was so poorly executed that it comes across like a fucking comedy script.
Everything in this movie was going against it. The writing was terrible. The casting was terrible. The only thing that was good was the location, the props team, and the where you make
Makeup,
yeah, no, not the makeup.
the props.
No, the other one, the computer stuff.
Oh, the CGI.
The computer stuff. The CGI. Like those were the music. That's it. Like that's what
The
made this
CGI
movie
was
everything else.
terrible. Did you not remember that terrible mermaid running?
It was
My God, that needs to
terrible.
be a GIF. Like that fucking shitty mermaid running at like 600 miles per hour.
Yeah, it was terrible. You know what they did? You know what they did? They look up alien running and they put it in the background. Like that's what they did. Oh, and then her screaming, and it
Oh,
was like
yeah.
this like oh, it was terrible. It was a terrible film.
Even the man, remember the guy got murdered at night and was eaten by the fish? Those were also different screams. Like he wasn't screaming in that scene.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did so much terrible screaming.
Yeah, it was terrible. Like, just use the actors at that point, and then put it on top. Like, get a microphone and just have them. I don't know. I guess they must have been too loud that overwhelmed the boom guy, and like it must have been like my type of sound. Oily trash movies type of is what they were
Uh-huh.
dealing with. Yeah, I was very disappointed. I am so disappointed. Or I'm gonna haunt you. Like I'm outside your house right now with my taxidermy cat. I'm gonna throw it in your nicely made bed. Like, ugh, I hate you, man. That's the worst Spooktober for forcing me to
All right,
watch
fair. All right, yeah, yeah.
this
This, you know
movie.
what? This is oily trash movies. This is what we do. We watch absolute shit, and then we rip it apart. So here's how I propose to fix this. We're gonna have a complete rewrite of the script. We're gonna stick with the concept bad fish. I think bad fish should have been the name of an all-girl punk shanty band, right? They're the ones performing, and then all of the members of the band are actually sirens. We're gonna abandon mermaids because they're not mermaids. We're gonna bring in our biologist, our marine biologist, because there's a B plot where, oh, all of the fish are missing. What's going on? He comes in, he's doing actual science, trying to figure out, oh, like is there an influx of predators? Is there some sort of pollutant? What's going on? Meanwhile, we're gonna eventually discover that it's because the sirens or the mermaids come in every 10 or 20 years or so. And then, while he's doing that studying, we have the cast of sexy bad fish. Maybe they all have a tattoo of a fish or something, or maybe they one of them wears like a necklace made of scales. Maybe one has like dreads with like seaweed in her hair, and that's sort of like the theme of their band. Meanwhile, they are the ones who are committing the murders, and they're doing that by luring men and seducing them with their siren beauty into their hotel rooms, into like onto the beach, and then all of these men who get seduced, those are the bodies that we keep finding. And I think that's I think you can make the plot much more interesting going that direction.
That is completely how you fixed it. They are luring the man by their siren song, which is their music. And it would be really interesting to even have a side character of a super fan, and she has to be female. And maybe everybody thinks that she's going crazy because she's like, I see all these men, I was in the concert and all these men were acting weird, or whoever, whatever. That would be interesting. But that's completely how you fix this movie. It's just grab the script and only the idea of bad fish.
And you know what else works with that premise is sirens lure their men with their beautiful voices.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
like they're singing and they've got great. You've got a musical
They're
number.
beautiful. They're beautiful, and they can sing well. Yeah, perfect side plot.
And then the lead singer of the band meets up with John, the main character, the protagonist, and then they begin to form their love relationship. She's super interested in marine biology because she plays in an oceanic themed punk rock band, and that's their connection. You actually have somebody with some acting chops who can maybe perform in a way that you believe there's chemistry between the two, and then you can even have it culminate in the same way where the guy gets mounted.
And you know what also would be interesting to even get more traction and more interest is that you could have the marine biologist like care about their turtles that are being like the pollution or whatever, and that's like bad fish's like mantra is like the reason why they're killing all these men is because men are destroying the ocean, whatever, and that's what drives them to wanting to eat them.
Oh yeah, they could be targeting the fishermen and like somebody who maybe does like oil drilling because they're blaming them for the overfishing and the
Right,
pollution.
and the reason why she's falling in love with the marine biologist is because he cares about the same thing, and he's trying to do something similar, and there's like that whole story. Yeah, I would watch that movie.
Now we have also emotional stakes because the man would be like, oh, like you're killing these people, but he's a marine biologist. He is committed to upholding, sea life and protecting it at all costs. So he has to decide whether or not to join them or, obey the law, essentially.
Which really bothered me about the way they did this movie is that he was completely a prisoner to the siren woman, ancient woman. And I think that's what really turned me off. It's just a disgusting, there's that horror of it. It's just so gross. Like, ugh, just the idea of someone being like a slave to these sirens, it's ugh.
Oh, it would be so horrible being a sex slave to beautiful sirens for the rest of your life. where all you do is sit up in your room drinking whiskey, and girls come up and hop on your lap. Yeah, that is truly horrifying.
But the reason why it bugs me so much is because our fisherman was so pro siren, but why didn't he get that with with I guess it's something that he had that like how I did with Jurassic Thunder. What's that word? Where I edited so
Oh,
much that he
you
didn't liking it.
Stockholm syndrome?
Yeah, the Stockholm syndrome, and maybe that's what the older pirate is, fisherman is that where eventually he's gonna get there, but right now he's just a prisoner of like horrific whatever, you know. Maybe that's what it is, but still, like I prefer our plot.
Hey, that's the best part about watching a movie so shitty is we get to come up with a script that sounds awesome.
So, to our devoted fans, look out for oily trash movie original Bad Fish.
We're gonna call them the same title and everything.
2.0 is what
Yeah,
we're
and they're
gonna call
bad fish, you know? They wear leather jackets.
it. Yeah, it's gonna be a combination of all the bad movies we've seen. The side plot is that they're going against the male sirens.
The sirens versus the manfish. Ah, man, now we got another script. Sirens versus manfish. That's a sci-fi original, I think.
Yeah, so that's how we would fix this movie. This movie was horrible. I wouldn't recommend this to anyone.
Yeah, I also wouldn't recommend this. For as terrible as Mermaid Down was, I would recommend that before this, because at least there's like always something cool happening, even if it doesn't make sense.
Right.
There
is.
This was a slog to get through. We hate this movie.
Yeah,
Do we have anything else to say?
All I want to say, War, is that I hate you for watching me sit this movie. I'm outside your house. Open the goddamn door, because my cat is so angry right now. It's ready to eat
It's so
your
taxidermied.
It's so taxidermied. It's ready to eat your face. It is so hungry right now. I can't believe you completely destroyed our Oktoberfest. This is the worst. I can't believe it. Okay, and then have that whole part like fade out, and then you say,
"Take care, comb your hair."
Remember to mace directly in that siren mermaid / backwards face.
Bye. Fuck. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck this movie. Fuck this podcast. Fuck Milko Davis. And fuck Spooktober.
Fantastic.